Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we have a good one here. It is race number 10 of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks Tour here tonight at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Qualifying kicking off right now as we get our first cars heading to the racetrack here. One of the first cars out on track here tonight would be usually he runs the number 1, but here tonight, with it being throwback night, he's rocking the throwback to the 42. It is used to be the 1 car, now the 42 car of Tanner Tallarico. Tallarico here on his first time lap here at North Wilkesboro. Of course, just like we've seen all season long, qualifying going to be 2 laps, taking your best lap of the 2. That will set the starting order here tonight. First lap for Tallarico, a good lap, a 19.10 for Tallarico. He'll go down the backstretch here for the final time in his qualifying effort. Stephen Hoffman, a 19.06 there for the 86. Tallarico there, big time loose off of turn number 4, will not improve on that lap. So Tallarico right now second quick here tonight. Another driver we'll take a look at here is the 66. This is Stephen Rochfort. Rochfort out here, I believe, first time lap now complete. Yes, it is. Rochfort will go second quick with a 19.08. So we'll see if he can improve. Probably not with a big time slide there off turn number 2. As here tonight with North Wilkesboro, it's going to be a fun one here, folks, because it's going to be a double header night. So qualifying going to matter a lot because it will have 2 features. First feature determined by qualifying order straight up with how they qualified. Then for feature number 2, going to be a little bit longer, going to be 25 laps longer at that. So it'll be a 75 lap feature number 2. But with that feature number 2, we will have a invert. Also on the track here, the 73 machine of Jamie Prevost. First lap for the 73, a 19.70 here. Prevost rocking a throwback scheme here tonight. Is throwback night, so we'll see a lot of different cars kind of repping some different colors, some different paint schemes. Of course, the 73 machine rocking the LaPlante blue PBR, as Prevost does not improve lap number 2, only a 19.71, so just off, but very consistent. As now we go to the guy that was quick time here tonight. In practice, it is the 33 machine of Justin Brooks, throwing it back to the Jeff Gordon Looney Tunes machine. Brooks here, lap number 1 here is complete. We'll only need 1 lap and get 1 lap, and the only driver in the 18-second bracket going to the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. So a great lap by Justin there. He would be leading the field to the green flag if not for the old pesky shotgun driver rule. That will put then Brooks to the tail of feature number 1. So Brooks will have a long way to go to get to the front, 50 laps. But if he doesn't get to the front, he's starting closer to the front with that invert for feature number 2. So here we go, folks. We get ready to rock and roll quickly into feature number 1 action. Here is the starting lineup for feature number 1. Justin Brooks in the 33 machine with the quick time here tonight would be starting on the pole, but like I was just saying before, he will go to the back, start 14th here tonight. We'll see if he can get to the front by the end of this first 50. Tis outside will be the 86. That is Stephen Hoffman with a great qualifying effort there. Hoffman in the 86 will roll off P number 2. Then starting in 3rd, Stephen Rochfort in the 66. He will inherit the pole here and lead the field to green, but Stephen Rochfort in the 66 will roll off P number 3. Then in 4th would be the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Of course, like I mentioned before, he is rocking the 42 number here tonight with the throwback. Starting in 5th, that will be the 51 machine of Ron the Hitman Hart, rolling off P number 5. Then in 6th, another throwback scheme, throwing it back to the Bill Elliott 93, but here, of course, rocking the 48. That is Tim Rogers, rolling off 6th. Starting in 7th is the 38 machine. That is Dave Payton. Then to Payton's outside, rolling off 8th is the 05 car. Glad to see him back here in action. It is the 05 of Eric Lake. Starting at 9th is the 31 machine, that is Zach Hummel and the 31 machine. And rounding out the top 10 is the 88 of Chuck Darling. Rolling off 11th is TJ Hansen in the 41. Starting at 12th is the 13 of Zach Coyer. Then we head to the last row here tonight. Starting 13th is the 1 in 45. That is Ace Hart and Jamie Prevost. And the 73 machine will start 14th here. So that will do it here tonight for the starting lineup. We get ready to rock and roll here. Lights are out and we get ready for our feature number 1 of 2. This feature number 1, like you see in the top left, going to be 50 laps. Feature number 2 going to be 75. So feature number 2 going to be a little bit longer. Drivers will take what they learned from this feature and apply it to see how they will shake on out. This time by though at the start finish line, we get the 1 to go. It is the wave lap. So next time by, we will turn these boys loose and get ready to do 50 quick laps for feature number 1. So here we go, the 66 of Stephen Rochford leading the field to green. To his outside, Stephen Hoffman in the 86 on the front row. The iRacing pace car here makes its way onto pit road. And now Stephen Rochford in control. He can fire on off. He does just that. And we go green flag racing for feature number 1 at North Wilkesboro. Field will dive down into turn number 1 side by side for the race lead. A little bit of loose, a little bit of wiggle from both cars on the front row. They'll stay right next to each other, door number to door number. Inside lane does have the advantage from 3 and 4, but here down in 1 and 2, the high side is where you want to be at. Hoffman gonna try and get the run, has to lift a little bit. Now here comes Ron Hart. We'll look to the inside. We'll think about just almost making it 3 wide there. A little bit of trouble further in the back, I believe, for the 73 car of Jamie Prevost. Prevost, he does get that car rocking and rolling. Hart now up to P number 2. Looks like Hoffman finally finds an opening back in P number 3. Tim Rogers stuck up in lane number 2, way up on the high side. Big time sideways for the 48, finds an open gap there. Rogers will slap back into the P number 6 position. So top 7 all single filed on out. Then behind the top 7, Chuck Darling into 8, Justin Brooks already into 9th in the 33 machine. Like we said before, Jamie Prevost, a little bit of an issue there at the start. That car's still looking pretty clean though, so doesn't look like too much damage, if anything, to the 73. Out there in front, Stephen Rochford leading the way here over Ron Hart. Last time by, Ron Hart best lap on the track, so the 51 machine says it is go time with these short features. He is putting the pressure, now looking to the inside for the race lead. They'll go side by side here through turns 1 and 2. Drag race down the backstretch here. Hart has the advantage going into turn number 3. We'll probably grow that advantage off of turn number 4. And new race leader here at the stripe, Ron Hart, out in front here on lap 7. Hart here leads the way now over the field. Everyone else still running for position. Now Tallarico looking to the inside of Stephen Hoffman. Has the nose to the inside. He'll see what he can do down in turns 1 and 2. Hoffman, if he wants to defend, this is the corner to do it. Looks like at the moment, he will let the 42 of Tallarico go on by here. Further on back here, Justin Brooks picking them up and putting them down. He is now up into P number 7, getting around Zach Hummel. Now Chuck Darling going to try and do the same and try and bring along the 13 machine of Zach Coyer as well. At the moment, as they run, Eric Blake going to be the driver to start on the pole for feature number 2. Top 12 going to be inverted here for feature number 2. Right now that 05 machine sits in 12th position here at the moment. Everyone still rocking and rolling. Now Hoffman turning up the wick just a little bit to the inside of Tallarico. Those two will go side by side once again. for P number 3. Now Hoffman, though, to the inside Tallarico up in lane number 2. Hoffman will be able to complete the pass, though Tallarico uses that momentum in lane number 2, does the crossover down the backstretch. Now this could open up the door for Dave Payne if he can get a nose to the inside. And these guys got to be careful because already closing in on the tail tanks is the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. He will go around the other throwback machine of Tim Rogers here in the 48. Two great looking race cars here out on the speedway side by side here as the battle for 6th position here. Brooks will get clear of the 48 of Rogers now, sets his sights on the 38 of Payton. We'll drive it in there deep. We'll close it on off out in front though. Ron Hart starting to stretch the lead just a little bit out in front. About a 3/4 of a second advantage. As we look a little bit further back here, Zach Core putting some big time pressure on the 88 of Chuck Darling. Further up towards the front here, Stephen Hoffman trying to get back those positions he lost early. And he does just that. Stephen Hoffman back up to P number 2 as Justin Brooks getting around Dave Payton. So Justin Brooks already into the top 5 here on lap number 15. Right behind Brooks here, Tim Rogers, Dave Payton goes side by side here, and Rogers will be able to complete the pass there pretty easy. Tim Rogers once again back up into 6th position here. Everyone else just running their pace, running their race, what they want to do. Now here comes a tough one here. Tanner Tallarico has to prevent Justin Brooks from picking up a win here. Brooks can close on in the points, but he needs every shotgun win pretty much to do so. And right now, he is making his way through the field quick enough that he can do just that. As now Tallarico, Stephen Roachford side by side here. This is a battle for P number 3. 42 of Tallarico trying to tiptoe around the 66. They go side by side here down the backstretch. Justin Brooks with a big run. He'll be able to get to the inside of Tallarico. Wow, what a power move by Brooks. Able to get around Tallarico there just on the backstretch and was almost going to try and get around the 66. Now will follow his line, try and cut that car down at the apex. Build that momentum as they run down the hill, and he'll do exactly that. Justin Brooks to the inside of Stephen Roachford. Side by side for P number 3 here on lap number 20. These two still side by side though. Brooks not making this pass super quickly. These last probably 3 passes going to be the hardest of the night for the 33 machine of Brooks. Out towards the front though, Ron Hart getting hunted down by Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman has cut that race lead to about a 1/4 second out in front. So that 86 has caught the 51. Not sure if Hart may be kind of running some race pace, managing those tires there. Hoffman really saved at the start, now turning it up. Here, that battle for 3rd finally cooling out off as Justin Brooks finally gets clear of Stephen Roachford for P number 3. Out in front though, we can see the battle for the race lead here. Ron Hart with Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman about 2 car lengths back. That's right on board with our race leader, looking back at the 86 here. And a little bit of tire fall off, as you can see, best lap for Ron Hart in 19.15. This time by will be a 19.35, so about 2/10 of fall off here, but so far still managing that pace. Hart has allowed Hoffman to kind of, like we've seen, catch him to about that 2 car lengths, now stretching it out just a little bit to about 3 car lengths. So maybe, like I said before, Ron Hart just running that race pace, maybe running that 80%, and now turning it on up as he gets some pressure. That time by at the stripe, though, we go to the countdown clock. It is already cross flags here tonight in feature number 1. We are now over halfway done here in feature number 1. Battle for P number 4 here as Tanner Tallarico, Stephen Rochford goes side by side. Gonna have the lap car Jamie Prevost here. Gonna catch him right at corner exit. That is where things get tight there, but they will continue to stay side by side here. Tallarico not going to use the 73 as a pick to help get around, so some fair heads-up racing between the two of them, and some great racing as that, as these guys go side by side here. Like I was hoping to see here tonight at North Wilkesboro, top side starting to come in just a little bit. We can see Stephen Rochford defending up in lane number 2. Tallarico hasn't been able to pull even with the 66, so this setup should be pretty racy, as it seems like both lanes, depending on how you're driving this thing, can go in either lane and be fast in either lane at the moment. Oh, Rochford big time sideways on pretty much the full exit of 4. I think kept his foot in it though. Did not lose any sort of pace there, but that car definitely yawed out there on corner number 4. Still trying to put the pressure on. Let's ride on board with the 42. See what he is seeing as he tries to work this pass on the 66 here tonight. You can see Tallarico working that wheel. You can see the red dash. That is wheel straight up and down, so you can see the wheel input here. A lot of wheel right before the apex, and then coming on off, a little bit of wheel to the right. That tells me these cars are a little bit loose under power. That is the way I'm trying to build these setups, build these cars, so it's really in the driver's hands, and that is what we're seeing here tonight. As Tallarico working that thing hard, just trying to get any sort of advantage, and probably most importantly, waiting for a mistake from the 66 to try and take advantage of. And you can just hear here as well as we ride on board with Tallarico, a lot of throttle time, lifting off just a little bit there, and then from there, for sure, full throttle before that first white line there into pit road, letting off here, and then right about here, rolling back into it, and then full throttle for sure by there. As old man Tallarico, big time moment, had to catch the car there and tank slap the wall as well. Didn't leave himself too much room for a save, and that snap seemed like it came from nowhere there, as that thing kind of caught him a little bit off guard. Out in front though, Ron Hart leading the way over Stephen Hoffman. Now the front two getting hunted down by the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. This time by at the stripe will be 15 laps to go, as we see Stephen Hoffman a little bit loose there off turn number 4. As Brooks will cut that thing down right to that grass. Try and get that straight drive off, and now to the inside of Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman will let him go with no contest here, so Justin Brooks up to P number 2. Started 14th here tonight. Can he go to the race lead in these first 50 laps and pick up the win in feature number 1? Further towards the back here, Dave Payton, Tim Rogers go side by side. These guys have been racing around each other all night long. Just outside of the top 5, this battle is for 6, as Payton tries to work over Rogers. Rogers, though, has the better line here, it seems like, as long as he can keep that car off the wall, keep the momentum up, as he maybe just scrapes that beautiful paint scheme down the backstretch. Oh, but loses the back end there, maybe up in the marbles, and will lose the spot to Payton here with 12 to go. Rogers maybe losing the handle on the race car, maybe losing that right rear just a little bit here tonight. Out in front though, Ron Hart loose off turn number 4. We've seen that all night long from drivers. And here with about 10 laps to go, you're cranking up the wick saying, whatever it's got left in the tank, we got to use it up from here. Especially if you're the race leader and you see who's in the mirror, that 33 machine. This time by though at the flag stand, we see 2 open palms from the flag man. It is 10 laps to go. Justin Brooks about a half a second back. You can see the times change. Ron Hart picks up some time on corner entry. That means he's driving in there a little bit deeper. trying to get as much pace as he can, whereas Justin Brooks backing up his corners and really focusing on the runoff. As you see Brooks there entering in wide and then cutting that car down low. Let's ride on board with Justin Brooks here. You can see Brooks here working that wheel on the very, very bottom of your screen as he tries to jump and catch Ron Hart. As you can see, this was Justin Brooks' line right there. Kind of wide entry, but then get that very, very straight drive off. That allows him to get a great run down the backstretch. And then here through 3 and 4, just wrapping that curve as much as possible. As we see Ron Hart big time sideways right there at the apex. Could be a battle for the race lead in the closing laps here as Ron Hart's race car definitely going out the window. How much more does he have here with this time by at the stripe? It's going to be 7 to go as Hart big time sideways. Here comes Justin Brooks though. Brooks will enter in wide. He gets a little bit sideways. He'll go to the outside of Ron Hart. Going to try and make the pass around the long way if he can. Going to be a tough spot as, oh, he gets big time loose there. These cars slipping and sliding with 5 to go. It's going to be a racer's race here to the checkered flag. Brooks will give Hart just a little bit tap there. No harm, no foul as they'll race down the backstretch. Further on back, Zach Hoare getting around Tim Rogers for 7th as it seems like Rogers continuing to struggle with the handling of that race car. This time to buy at the stripe. It is 4 to go. Justin Brooks says, you'll give me the outside, I'll try and take advantage of it. Justin Brooks going to try and be high side and handsome, try and get the pass done the hard way up in lane number 2. It's going to be a tall challenge, especially in 3 and 4 there, as Ron Hart trying every trick in the book, parking that car on the inside lane, saying, hey man, if there's one way to get around me, it is going to be up in lane number 2, as Hart throws on the block. They make contact for the race lead. Hart goes sideways. Brooks will drive through. Hoffman able to just get through. 2 laps to go. We stay racing here. No caution as no car got completely out of control here. As, oh, we get one car spinning here. Oh, as Eric Lake comes through, he will make contact. Same with Jamie Prevost. Zach Hummel in the 31 machine, the first car on around. And then some other calamity right at the end of this one. As we'll take a look here, see what happens, see if there's maybe some contact between the two of them. Oh, we see Hummel kind of get loose there a little bit late, so we'll try and jump back a little bit further, see if the 31 machine just got loose and maybe the 41 and TJ Hansen had nowhere to go, or maybe some contact between the two of them. Oh, it looks like just contact between the two of them. Hansen had a great run through the middle and just jacks up the back of the 31 machine. That sends, of course, the 31 around. Then Eric Lake just clipping the 31. And then Jamie Prevost as well will tag some damage here. But luckily for all these drivers involved in that one, we do have a second feature here tonight. So even if you're involved, you can still come back out here, feature number 2, have a brand new race car, and then have a chance to get a better finish here in feature number 2. But out in front, Justin Brooks leading the way here. He will have choice of the inside lane or the outside lane. Going to be one attempt at a green-white checkered here, and I believe going to be choosing next time by. At the moment here with the cars involved and everything like that. Right now, the 73 machine of Jamie Prevost is currently in the 12th position. So Prevost will start on the pole of feature number 2 if he elects to do so. So these cars slipping and sliding big time. They are going to have to see how these tires fire on off a big time heat cycle. With that first run going green to about 2 laps to go. Our first caution coming out just now in feature number 1. And of course, it is going to be our one attempt at a green-white checkered here in feature number 1. So whether it be in a green-white checkered, that of course means if we see the white flag, we are racing back to the checkered. If we get a caution before the white flag, then the race will end under caution conditions. The 33 machine of Justin Brooks in control of the restart. Tis outside the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Lights are out. We are about to go back racing. So here we go. The 33 machine of Justin Brooks in control. Gets a shot in the shorts and he jumps on the loud pedal. We go back to green flag racing for a green-white checker. Ron Hart going to try and get clear there of Stephen Hoffman. Won't quite be able to complete the pass. Those two will drag race down the backstretch. Justin Brooks out and away, out in front. This time by, we will see the white flag. One more lap to go as Stephen Rochford there in the black and blue 66 machine. Big time sideways off turn number 2. Out in front, no contest. Justin Brooks continues to lead the way. Best battle on the Speedway is for second. Looks like it might be a photo finish for that. It's going to be a drag race to the line, but Justin Brooks will pick up the win at the stripe. It is Ron Hart just beating out Stephen Hoffman for the top 3 there, but Justin Brooks will pick up the win here in feature number 1. And man, oh man, what a finish there. So we will grab a quick word here in just one moment with our winner of feature number 1 after a quick commercial break. Alrighty, folks, we come back here to North Wilkesboro Speedway and going to be chatting with our feature number 1 winner, that being the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. Justin, you got a copy. It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, what's going on?
Alrighty, my man. 50 laps probably flew on by. How are we feeling after feature number 1 here picking up the win?
Feeling pretty good. I thought it was going to be a straight 125 lapper, so I mean, I knew I had to take advantage and go on the get-go, and I was trying to be patient behind a few guys, and then when they slipped up, I just tried to take advantage of it, take the positions. Pretty much everybody, I mean, for the most part, didn't run me too hard, thankfully. They seen I was faster and just let me go, which was nice, made it easier to get me to the front, and then I don't know what was going on there with behind Ron. I mean, I figured he was being defensive, but I went outside of him, and he kind of stuffed me in the wall trying to pass him on the outside. And every time I tried to go inside of him, he'd let off the gas and block me coming out of the corner. So I really didn't know what else to do at that point besides wait for him to really slip up, trying to cut it down low and get his car out of whack. And he did there about, I don't know how many laps to go it was, and I couldn't go any lower. I mean, I was literally against the grass, and he kept coming down, even though it said car outside halfway down the back. So, I mean, I don't know if he's mad about it, but, I mean, there's only so much you can do. I mean, I'm trying to race clean, but, I mean, I can't go any lower on the track. So, I mean, if he's mad about it, I'm sorry. But, I mean, you know, it's hard racing. You got to give a little bit of room if he is. If not, then great. I mean, I hope he's all right.
Yeah, and like you said, Justin, I think that was just hard racing, and I think Ron's smart enough to know, too, if you throw that big of a block, you know, there's probably contact inevitable in that situation. So I'm sure he's not upset with that. I'm sure he was just trying his hardest to keep the 33 around. And it seemed like a tough challenge because you, my man, were rocking and rolling, especially with that line in 1 and 2. You had that thing figured out, it seemed like.
It felt pretty good. I felt like I could keep drive off for the most part until I got up to Ron, and then my right rear was going away. And like I said, yeah, I hope that's the case because, I mean, I was trying not to force the issue because I felt like we were going to wreck, but I saw Steven coming. He fell back, but he was catching us because of that, and I didn't want to lose a spot because I'm trying to get some many points as I can and try to catch up. So got to go for the win, especially when I know I'm faster, and just try to do the best of it. I'm going to try to do the same thing here, hopefully.
Yeah, and here tonight, luckily, don't have to start as deep. Pretty much almost the same, you know. Instead of 14th, now you'll start 12th. And here, we saw a lot of people that right rear starting to fall off. You said the same. So what's the game plan maybe for 75 laps, an extra 25 laps? Going to be maybe a little bit more tire saving right at the start?
Definitely try to save a little bit more this race. It's a little bit longer, and the way the tires wear out, definitely try to conserve it as much as I can. I mean, I got the win in the first one, so I mean, it's all about just trying to keep Tanner close and finish by him. I'm not going to press the issue as much this race, especially if I'm behind Ron and he's throwing blocks like that. I just going to let him win, if that's the case, and be smart about it. But I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, great points tonight for feature number 1. You're hoping to do the same for feature number 2. And Justin, hopefully a pretty fun setup underneath these race cars here at North Wilkesboro here tonight. Are you having some fun?
Yes, sir.
Awesome stuff. Well, Justin, before we let you go and get ready for feature number 2, we're going to give you the good old spiel as you can thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, of course, anyone else you want to thank on the broadcast teammates. And of course, thanks again for participating in the Throwback Challenge. That 33 machine looks sweet. I'm sure a story behind that car as well.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite cars as a kid. Jeff Gordon's 2001 Looney Tunes car. He wrecked in the lead at Richmond, and I believe it's a Monte Carlo 400 sponsored by Looney Tunes, and it was always one of my favorite ones because it's a chrome illusion thing. So I tried to replicate it best I could and give something that's pretty cool to look at on the track and something that has some meaning to me. So, I mean, thank you for the compliment of that, and I want to thank you for doing this in the league, and thank everybody that races me clean each and every week. Appreciate it.
All righty, Justin. Well, best of luck for feature number 2. Go give them hell, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
All righty, folks. That was our race winner, Justin Brooks, getting the job done there in feature number 1. Now we get ready to rock and roll for feature number 2. And for feature number 2, it's going to be a good one here. 75 laps. Going to be the distance here. We saw tires falling off in 50 laps. 75 is about to be real fun as we get ready to head down trackside to go through feature number 2 lineup here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Number 2, getting ready to rock and roll. The starting order will look like the following. Leading the field to the green will be the 73. That is Jamie Prevost. I actually got the honor to meet him on Saturday at Owasso Speedway, so that was very cool to meet another league member in person. And to his outside, the 41 machine of TJ Hansen. Starting third will be the 145. That is Ace Hart. To his outside, rolling off fourth, will be the 48 of Tim Rogers. Starting in fifth will be the 88. That is Chuck Darling. And to his outside, rolling off sixth here, is the 13 machine. That is Zach Goldbeer Coyer. Starting seventh is the 66 of Stephen Rochford. Looks like Rochford taking an EOL here for feature number 2. Starting in eighth is the 38. That is Dave Payne. Ninth going to the 1 car or the 42 on the car of Tanner Tallarico. Starting 10th, finishing third in feature number 1 is the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. And then 11th, finishing runner-up in feature number 1, the 51 of Ron Hart. Winning feature number 1 is the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. He will start in 12th. 13th going to Zach Hummel in the 31. And then Eric Lake in the 05 does not make the call to the grid. So it looks like we will have 13 cars ready to set sail here for 75 laps for feature number 2 here at North Wilkesboro. Looks like also TJ Hansen taking an EOL, so I'll move Tim Rogers up to the front row. So this time by fans are on their feet, they are waving, drivers waving back. It is the wave lap, and that also means it is 1 to go here. Next time by, we will turn these boys loose for 75 laps for feature number 2 here at North Wilkesboro. And it looks like sun is out, sun is shining. That is only going to make this track hotter and have these right rears even hotter for these drivers to try and manage now 75 laps. No tires in the pits here, so these drivers have to manage what they start on here. But here we go. We get ready to turn them loose. iRacing pace car down onto pit road. Jamie Prevost in the 73 on the loud pedal, and we go green flag racing here for feature number 2. Side by side, 3 wide into turn number 1. Ace Hart to the inside of the 73 machine. Prevo gets a little bit loose, has to go on up. Will save that race car further on back 3 wide as Darling to the inside of Dave Payton. Dave Payton in the sucker hole just a little bit, still not finding an opening there. Payton will finally find a gap behind Tallarico in the 42 machine. That could have been sketchy very quickly, but everyone will keep things rocking and rolling. Balloons are let off, and we are racing here at North Wilkesboro. Ace Hart starting to drop through the field just a little bit, 3 wide further on back here as Ron Hart puts Tallarico up into lane number 3. Out in front though, Tim Rogers leading the way. He is trying to set sail and try and lose the rest of the field. Up further towards the front here, Zach Hoyer up to second. Stephen Hoffman trying to take third away from Jamie Prevo. Now look at this, Justin Brooks already up into the top 5. Brooks now trying to get fourth away from the 73 machine. Brooks will do just that there down the backstretch. Everyone else kind of sorting on out, trying to run their pace, run their race here, because it's 5 laps into the 75 lapper, and it's been a hectic first 5 laps with that invert. Like I said before, Tim Rogers away with a decent sized lead. Stephen Hoffman back up into second, was running there many of laps there. Oh, was contact there between Prevo and Hart. They will not wreck, but man, that was a close call there. The 51 machine having to saw on that wheel to save that race car. As everyone kind of finding their spots they want to run in, start to click off the laps. Hoffman up into the Justin Brooks line. He maybe watched the replay from feature number 1, saw what the 33 machine was doing, and trying to do that same line, that very high entry into 1, cut that car back down, and then get a straight drive off. Further on back, I think Zach Hummel might have had a little bit of an issue, maybe off track just a little bit, able to keep that car rolling. Out in front though, the 48 machine of Tim Rogers throwing it back to the Bill Elliott Mac Tonight machine, and a sweet looking throwback machine. That car out in front, what a win it would be in this car here tonight for the 48 team. Justin Brooks here putting the pressure on Stephen Hoffman for second. Hoffman though running some pretty good laps. Both Hoffman and Brooks running pretty much identical lap times, both in the low 19.2s at the moment. Brooks though now to the inside of Hoffman. Battle for second here as Hoffman maybe already trying to use lane number 2, maybe trying to save that right rear just a little bit. We'll say, hey, you know what, still over 60 laps to go. I'm going to go take things easy. You can go on by. So Justin Brooks up to P number 2, further on back. Battle for a top 5 finishing spot. Battle between teammates as Ron Hart will get by the 88 machine of Chuck Darling. Darling, of course, in a throwback scheme to the Mike Eddy machine. So another throwback car out here tonight. Another great throwback as well to Mike Eddy. So if race trends are similar, we should have a very, very long green flag run here to start the race here tonight. And then maybe as the race goes on, we might see some cars kind of close on up, maybe a mistake, maybe someone losing that grip, losing the race car here late in this race. But right now, if I was a bet man, I would say we're going green flag racing to probably halfway point, if not even after that. Further on back here, 4 cars starting to become under a blanket. Zach Hoyer currently leading this pack. Chuck Darling, then Tanner Tallarico. He will look out of line down the front stretch. Dave Payton as well in this pack. A lot of cars right here trying to see who will attack first out of these 4. We're here trying to hang on to a top 5 run. was able to start just outside of the top 5, made up one spot here at the moment. Biggest mover, of course, Justin Brooks started 12th up into 2nd. Then Stephen Hoffman, Ron Hart both up 7 positions. Biggest losers here is Ace Hart and, Jamie Prevost and TJ Hansen here at the moment. These guys seems like kind of running similar pace here, just running their race. No one really making any sort of big time moves, no aggressive moves out of them. So that means they are managing their race, managing their tires, just waiting for the car in front of them. If they make a mistake, take advantage of that, but try not to force any sort of issue if it's not needed here so far tonight. Further to the back here, Stephen Rochford elected to start in the back here. That 66 probably in big time tire saving mode. Able to get around one car so far here tonight, that being the 31 machine of Zach Hummel. Further up towards the front here, we see Chuck Darling here under fire from the 42 of Tallarico. This is the battle now for the 6th position as those 2 cars go side by side here into turn number 3. That's right on board with Chuck Darling with that A-pillar camera just to see how close these cars are getting and see if he can slot on in front of Dave Payton, or if Dave Payton can kind of squeak on by the 88 as these 2 continue to go side by side. Darling up top, Tallarico down low here at the moment. Out there in front though, Tim Rogers being hunted down by Justin Brooks. Now within 2 car lengths for the race lead as this battle continues to go on here. So we'll go to that battle in case that heats on up here at any time. But right now, Chuck Darling able to get clear, able to slam the door shut there on Dave Payton. Can Payton get the run off turn number 2? It looks like no, that will not be the case. Out in front though, Justin Brooks to the race lead. Justin Brooks, man, he is a tough guy to beat, and he is out here in front here before the halfway point in feature number 2. Tim Rogers currently running in 2nd, Stephen Hoffman 3rd, Ron Hart in 4th, Zach Hoyer rounding out the top 5. Then behind them, Tanner Tallarico 6th, now Dave Payton up to 7th, Chuck Darling 8th, Jamie Prevost 9th, Ace Hart in 10th. 11, TJ Hansen, 12, Stephen Rochford, and Zach Hummel rounding out the field in 13th. So the field definitely stretched on out, everyone running their race. So with a little bit of some action kind of cooling on off, what do we say we do a little turn 3, turn it up, as the leaders just getting into their first lap traffic here in feature number 2. Hummel will go 1 lap down here. Let's do a little turn 3, turn it up here at North Wilkesboro. We come back here to racing action at North Wilkesboro just before the halfway point here. Justin Burks continuing to lead the way over Tim Rogers. And Stephen Hoffman right on Rogers' tail as well. Further on back here, battle for a top 5 spot as Tallarico has run down Coyer for 5th. Last couple laps, Tallarico has been at least a half a tenth faster than Zach Coyer, so now Tallarico will look to the inside of the 13 machine. He needs to just get a good run down the backstretch because that inside lane definitely preferred down here in 3 and 4, so Tallarico might need to do the high entry, get a good turn on in the middle, and then try and drive that car off just below the 13 machine. As he'll try and do just that, Coyer will make a bobble. That could open up the door for Tallarico. Yes, it does. But Coyer will drive it in there deep, able to keep the 42 at bay for at least another lap. This time, though, at the stripe for these guys, it is cross flags here tonight. Halfway home, halfway down here in feature number 2. That time, once again, Tallarico, a really good run down the backstretch. This will allow him to get to the inside of Zach Coyer. Coyer up in lane number 2, a little bit in the marbles. We'll have a chance to defend here in turns 1 and 2, but looks like Tallarico will drive it in there deep. Tallarico will get clear. He will try and set sail as the cars in front of him very, very much in front. Has about 4-second gap to chase on down before the end of this one. Or we'll lose a few more spots. We'll lose a spot to Dave Payne. Now might lose a spot as well to Chuck Darling. Those two will door bang just a little bit in turns 1 and 2. Coyer will slam the door shut on Darling. So Coyer will hang on to P number 7 here at the moment. Out in front though, Justin Brooks, like I mentioned before, leading the way, entering in some more lap traffic here tonight. Got Ace Hart, Jamie Prevost, and Stephen Roachford out the front windshield of our race leader. Tim Rogers here hanging on to second, but maybe not for long. As here we go, Stephen Hoffman looking to the inside of the 48. Hoffman will get loose, won't have the run down the backstretch. So Rogers will survive another lap there in P number 2. I'm sure Hoffman trying to turn up the wick just a little bit because he can see Ron Hart closing up the gap to his back bumper. Hart within now 5 car lengths of those 2 cars battling for second. Is Hart up and out of the way for the leaders. You love to see it. A lot of respect here in the ASRC league here. Next car to go 1 lap down will be the 73 machine of Jamie Prevost. He, at least at the moment, if they do get a yellow, will be the lucky dog here. But we do need that yellow flag to come out. So far, only 1 caution on the night. Coming at the very end of feature number 1. Here in feature number 2, have yet to see the yellow felt. As here we go, side-by-side battle for second. Tim Rogers way up the racetrack there in 3 and 4. That allows Stephen Hoffman to get up to P number 2 here with about 30 laps to go. Hoffman will have to run some pretty good laps, see if he can track down Justin Brooks. If not, at least try and bide some time from Tim Rogers and Ron Hart. These 3 cars definitely closing on up to each other. Ron Hart will take a look to the inside of Tim Rogers here. Rogers, though, gets into the wall. That could leave the door open. Yes, it does to Ron Hart. So Hart up to P number 3. Him and Hoffman both up 8 spots here in feature number 2. Can Hart here run down Stephen Hoffman before the end of this one? Has been catching him for the last handful of laps. Now it's just once again Hart versus Hoffman for P number 2. now as we get a first caution of feature number 2. It looks like the 145 machine of Ace Hart here stopped in turns 1 and 2. Looks like Ace Hart will tow it back to pits, as no, he is still down over there. Looks like we'll get that car refired and re-rolling here. So we'll take a look here, see what brought out our first caution of the evening, as Ace Hart here catching the back of Jamie Prevost. And oh, looks like the 145 machine just loses the back end on corner entry. Luckily able to get that car kind of spun out off the racing surface. Keeps it off the wall, so nice job. No damage to the 145, but that right rear definitely going to be a little bit hotter than it was before, as no sets of tires on pits here tonight. So that will bunch up the field. The advantage Justin Brooks has now erased. It looks like the 73 car of Jamie Prevost going to be the lucky dog here. So while we got a moment, we will go to quick partner break here with our partner over at Premier Setup Shops. We'll be back here in 30 seconds. So it's going to be under a 25 lap shootout here to the end. Lights are out around the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Looks like Justin Brooks electing the high side on the restart here. So Brooks going to be in control. Stephen Hoffman on the front row as well. The iRacing pace car here will head down pit road. Justin Brooks in control.
Green.
Brooks will jump on it, and we go back to green flag racing here with 23 laps to go. Brooks gets away with a great start. Stephen Hoffman by himself. Can Tim Rogers roll lane number 2, get on around? It looks like no, he cannot. He is now under fire from Ron Hart for P number 3. Side by side for P number 3 here as first 2 single filed on out. Dave Payne able to get down to the inside there in the 38 machine. Now Tanner Tallarico going to try and get around Tim Rogers, as Rogers, a little bit of muscle up in lane number 2, able to get to the outside once again of Ron Hart. Now here comes the 42 machine of Tallarico. Those two will go side by side, 48 and 42 down in turns 1 and 2. Rogers will have the run, will have the momentum. Last time Rogers was at North Wilkesboro, he picked up a win in the ARCA car. Here tonight, going to be a tall order to pick up a win at the end of this one. That time by at the stripe, it is 20 laps to go here.
Caution.
As we get a
flag
caution flag, the 66 here with some damage. The 88 of Chuck Darling down on the grass as well. So we will slow the field down for the second time here tonight and try and take a look, see what happened in turns 1 and 2. As Stephen Rochford, Chuck Darling side by side down the front stretch. Darling with the crossover move here into turn number 1. Rochford up in lane number 2. And then, it looks like Darling just loses the turn in the front end, just gets into the left rear quarter panel there of the 66. Those two make slight contact there. Luckily, everyone else able to make evasive maneuvers there, so I think maybe slight damage to the 66 and the 88, but could have been a lot worse for those two, as it looks like Chuck Darling tapping on the roof there. We'll say, hey guys, that's my bad. We'll go to the end of the line, but we'll say, hey man, sorry about that. So Darling will tag on to the end of the field. The field, though, slowed on up And here, under caution number 2, Ace Hart able to get back on the lead lap. So all cars out here on the racetrack still racing on the lead lap here as Zach Hummel has brought it into pit road, has called it a night. So lights go out on the iRacing pace car here, trying to get back to green flag racing. Looks like once again Justin Brooks electing lane number 2. But once again Stephen Hoffman on the inside of the front row, but the 33 here in control of the restart. Row number 2 made up of Ron Hart once again, and now Tanner Tallarico up into 4th position. Justin Brooks here in control. Brooks on the loud pedal. We go back to green flag racing. Stephen Hoffman doesn't get the greatest restart. He is now under fire from Tanner Tallarico. Tallarico, if he wants to use up those tires, now's the time to do so. Can he get the job done on the outside? Those two will go side by side here in turns 3 and 4. But if there's a place to get the work done, it is here in 1 and 2. As Tallarico needs a really good drive off to get that momentum, get that run, at least draw even. He will do that once again. So these two gonna race hard for second. That allowed Justin Brooks here to try and run away and hide with the race lead. As those two leaning on each other. Ron Hart there as well, in case some sort of big mistake from the 2 cars in front. Hoffman down low, Tallarico up in lane number 2, still trying to work things in the tough lane here tonight. Hoffman trying to move up the racetrack, trying to keep that momentum rolling, but he has to be careful. He could open up the door for Ron Hart in the 51. So looks like Hart will be able to get around Tallarico. Tallarico will throw in the towel just a little bit, say, all right, I'll get back to the bottom, but the fight is not over yet because here comes Ron Hart. He'll lean on Stephen Hoffman for second. Those two contact there. Hoffman able to hang on to the race car. Here comes now Dave Payton to the inside of Tanner Tallarico. Payton wants some more here with 11 laps to go. Side-by-side battle for the 4th position here as they will draw even with each other down the backstretch. Tallarico has to figure out something here in 3 and 4. Did not continue to lose positions up in lane number 2. Has it kind of figured out here in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, definitely the tough lane to make things happen here at North Wilkesboro. That time by, we see 10 laps to go here tonight, so into the waning hours here as drivers trying to pick up any sort of positions before the end of this one. Dave Payton able to get clear of Tallarico down the front stretch to move the 38 machine up into 4th, as now Tallarico has to try and hold off now Zach Boyer. And look at this, Stephen Rochford involved in that last yellow, but able to drive through the field. He is already up to 7th as Tallarico will slap the wall big time down the front stretch. Those two will continue to run side-by-side battle for second, though cooled on off just a little bit. Stephen Hoffman still hanging on to P number 2 here as Ron Hart continues to put pressure on, but Hoffman, no big mistakes out of the 86. He needs to make for these last 7 laps. Boyer and Tallarico still side-by-side for a top 5 finish here. As Boyer still trying to tiptoe around the inside lane. Both cars very sideways off turn number 2 last time. We'll see if that's still the case. Tallarico gonna try the crossover here as Boyer will keep that car glued down to the bottom, but Tallarico will take a look, will take a shot to the inside of the 13. Tallarico trying to get back up to that top 5 now with only 5 laps to go. I think Tallarico might have used up those tires just a little bit too much up in lane number 2 as he will fall in line with the 13 machine. Here would now make it 4 to go here at the stripe. Stephen Hoffman once again under some big time pressure from Ron Hart as the battle for podium finish. Both cars right now up into the podium spots. Going to be chatting with both of these drivers at the end, but a lot can happen in these last 3 laps because Dave Payton, he is running some great laps, about a tenth faster than the 2 cars in front of him. So he has to kind of hope these two either get into each other, make a mistake, and he'll be right there to strike before it's all said and done. This time by for Justin Brooks and the rest of the field. Popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go. Looks like Payton, though, losing a little bit of pace that time by. Not the greatest lap there from the 38, so going to be a hard-fought task to make things happen. But the white flag is out for the 33 machine, trying to sweep here at North Wilkesboro. One more time by, and he will do just that. Down the backstretch and into turn 3 and 4 for the final time. And the 33 machine of Justin Brooks sweeps here in race number 10 at North Wilkesboro. The rest of the field able to cross the line. Stephen Hoffman second, Ron Hart in P number 3. And that will do it here for North Wilkesboro. And after tonight, only 2 more races left on the schedule for the summer series to make things happen. But don't go anywhere, folks, because after a quick commercial break, we'll chat with our top 3 finishers, that being Justin Brooks, Stephen Hoffman, and Ron Hart. But here we go to the front stretch. Justin Brooks and that sweet throwback scheme gonna celebrate on the front stretch here at North Wilkesboro, picking up yet another late model stock win here in ASRC. Brooks will throw it on back to Alan Kwiecki as well. A little Polish victory lap here at North Wilkesboro. Gonna set it around right at the top side of the wall. Wave at all the great fans here for coming on and watching this stream. Thanks again to all the live viewers and the replay viewers. And yeah, like I said, don't go anywhere, folks, because right after a quick commercial break, we'll get the drivers and get their thoughts after 2 features here tonight at North Wilkesboro. As Justin Brooks here will bring it down pit side. We'll park it on up here in the front stretch, and we'll bring it down to the infield where the victory lane should be, as we'll park it in a sweet spot. And it looks like we won't have a camera. We'll get something set on up, but don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back here with our driver interviews here in 2 quick minutes.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here at North Wilkesboro Speedway and going to be chatting with our top three finishers. The first driver we'll be talking to tonight is the 51 machine. That is Ron Hart. So we'll get a word with him here. Ron, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you, Brett.
Alrighty, my man. So first feature 50 laps, finishes P number 3. Second feature 75 laps, finishes P number 3. How are we feeling after a doubleheader here on North Wilkesboro?
First, Brett's cut me short right off the bat. It's P2 in feature 1, sir.
Oh, sorry about that, Ron.
Just tried my best, man. Just not good enough. Tried to run Justin as dirty and unethical and as rough as possible in the first one, and just couldn't do it. About got myself spun out, but able to save it and come on to P2. So, I mean, no hard feelings there. I was running in about as bad as you could possibly run a guy, trying to keep the lead with a few to go. So, just not fast enough, and able to get from the back to third here in the second race. Had a good battle there with Steven, and just nothing for Justin. So, about second and third is the best we're going to do tonight.
Yeah, definitely seemed like a very, very tough race. And it seemed like, that right rear started to fall off in kind of both races, then it fell off a cliff. Is that what you felt like behind the wheel of the 51 machine here tonight?
No, that's the most disappointing part. I don't feel like I really burned the tires off it. Like, I feel like we stayed pretty good. I was running the bottom in 1 and 2. I don't know how those guys arc it like they do down there, but it kind of saves the right rear, and felt like I had good tire wear both races, and just not even close to fast enough to win. So just got to go back to the drawing board to figure that out.
Yeah, definitely a tough one here tonight. But overall, can't hang your head too low up on the podium with some of the toughest competitors. And we had 2 cautions bunching up the field, but it seemed like very, very hard to pass in either lane here tonight.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's a fun racetrack, and just getting to race around guys who are good and fast, and you can really kind of make some moves and run side by side and pinch a guy up, pinch a guy down. So it's a fun place, and one that I enjoy coming to. So it was 2 good hard battles there. Never really got bored or strung out too much. Even when you're leading, this place is challenging enough to hit your marks. It keeps you engaged and not as, and going, man. I just don't really know what I could have did different in that first one to hold them off. So still kind of scratching my head at that one.
Yeah, definitely a tough one there to lose any sort of lead late in a race. But here, Ron, now for the summer series, only 2 races left. New Smyrna, Kern County. How are we feeling about those 2 tracks left on the schedule?
Oh man, I can run second to Justin. So good at those 2 tracks, Brett. I'm sure I can get it done. So we're gonna go out there and try our best, and look forward to 2 more. Excited to race more with Ace those couple of races before he goes back to school. So hopefully he can have a good run, and we'll have some fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, how's it like racing with your kid? I got to race with my dad on iRacing. Some of the best times, racing against my dad on there. So how's it like being on the other side of things with racing against your own kid?
It was fun, man. I wish he'd put a little more practice in during the week, but he gets on here just 45 minutes for the race and never been on the track before, and does pretty good. He's respectable. I think tonight he calls his first caution ever, so he didn't even know how to claim one. So proud of him for claiming that, and I'm proud of him for pushing it enough to cause a caution. He did a really good job on the start of the second race, starting up front and holding his line and racing around guys. So it's fun. Proud of him for giving good effort. I do think it helps him quite a bit in real life. He's doing a really good job racing his mini wedge this year, and I think some of it has to do with the confidence he's gained on here and Wreckfest, and anytime, whether it's sim racing or real racing, you can get behind the wheel of a car or a computer and get those hand and feet coordination skills. It's helpful.
Yeah, that it is. And what me and my dad, especially my dad, learned is, how to be really good on restarts from iRacing with how close people race you and how aggressive you kind of have to be right on the bumper of some guy for if they make a mistake. Because here on iRacing, right, you got to take any sort of advantage that you can get.
Yeah, and I think that's where it helps. Like, and it's not, I don't want to say it's hard to get in a real race car and go fast. I mean, I feel like that's not a hard thing to learn. The hard part is being in traffic and doing it right and racing around other people going 100 miles an hour and inches from each other and taking the runs when you can get them and knowing where to put yourself to advance up the field on restarts or even just trying to pass somebody during a race. That's kind of what you can learn on here. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with when they race in real life, and racing on here gives you an advantage when you get in the real car and you see guys make mistakes that maybe you made on iRacing and you know not to make.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great stuff to be learned and a great tool that we have, and glad to see a lot of people use it. So Ron here tonight, here for feature number 2 of P number 3, a great finish. So before we let you go and celebrate another podium finish for you this season, we're going to, of course, hand the mic over to you and thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast.
Yeah, shout out to you, Brett, for doing a great job on the broadcast. I know my parents listen every week and watch every week. Ace and I race, so nice to have a dependable, broadcaster who does a good job. So thank you, and just thanks for the league. It's gotten so much better over the years, and really enjoying racing, the clean racing, hard racing that we have with these guys, and just something to look forward to during the week.
All righty, Ron. Well, it's great having you out on the track. Always enjoy seeing the 51 car out on track. So you, my man, Ron, have a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you before the season wraps on up.
Thanks, Brett.
All righty, folks. That was our third place finisher, the 51 machine of Ron the Hitman Hart. Now we'll head up to our runner-up finisher, that being the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. Steven, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, what's going on, Brett?
Alrighty, my man. How we feeling after 2 feature races, 50 lap, then a 75 lapper, able to be on the podium for both of them? How we feeling, my man, here at North Wilkesboro?
Pretty good overall. We had two good races. Would have liked to get one spot farther than the last one, but I'll take podiums in both of them again on the doubles.
Yeah, exactly. A great point tonight. And Steven, it seems like you in these late model stocks, man, especially here as we get more races under our belt, you seem to be really clicking with these cars. I mean, what's going into your wheelhouse that's maybe helping you, or what's feeling really good? Because it seems like wherever we go to these days, that 86 car up towards the front and challenging for wins and for sure up in the podium.
Yeah, a couple seasons past, I felt like I was rushing everything too fast and catching myself into either someone else's mess or creating my own. After about the third or fourth race of this season, I feel like I just really settled down, started driving the car, paying attention more. And then plus two, I was saying too, like with Justin here, he's so fast. And then when you're following him, it only makes yourself better and everyone else around us better. But we've had a lot of speed, a lot of good luck. I don't know, just patience and a little bit more prep. Not really, but yeah, I guess just patience is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and patience is a key. Even like a 50 lapper, people see that and be like, oh my God, we got to go from lap 1 and just make all the crazy moves. But even in 50 laps, it's a lot more time than you think, at least 100 corners, but a lot to do behind the driver's seat as well to really kind of slow down and say, hey, we do got time. We can wait for that guy to make a mistake, or, we can go chase him down, because 50 laps still is a decent amount of time, right? Even on the shorter end of things.
Yep, and when you're patient too, you're not up in the wheel as much. You're able to feel the car more, and it's kind of like the same thing in real life too. You've raced in real life. When you feel like everything's slow and in slow motion, and you're fast, it makes everything so much easier behind the wheel, and it's translating itself into the sim, and it's turning into the same thing to where I'm able to hit my marks better, pay attention to where to lift. All right, the car's loose here, tight here, and then you can start experimenting more too when you're patient with the gas and the brake. What's the car doing? And it just sets yourself up for a better night.
Yeah, that it does. And, it's the old saying, right? Slow is fast. As much as that doesn't make sense to maybe the outside world, or, people that don't follow racing as much, it's like, as a racer, that could be very much true, to take your time. And like you said, be patient. Slow is fast.
Yeah, and it's even though it's a game, I don't know what it is, but it's something about driving into a corner, and you can do it in these cars, but it took me a while to figure it out. Like, you don't always have to use the brake, but it just feels like, even though you're in a game and you can just hit the reset button, you're like, oh, I don't want to crash. But it's crazy when you slow everything down, how easy you can roll these things in, and just the littlest inputs on the steering wheel make. And like that last little bit of that feature, I started using my brake at the end just to Ron was starting to, when he got behind me, I knew he was going to start running that bottom line, and I couldn't arc the corner as much. But up until that point, I think I barely touched the brake for the majority of the race.
Yeah, just keeping that momentum, and you're doing a great job at that, Steven. And yeah, we saw feature number 2. You really start to arc turn number 1. Did you see that from Justin Brooks? And did you say, hey, you know what, we got to go learn that line and try and see what he is doing up there?
Yeah, I seen he. I usually lift at the Harley Farms logo, and I seen he was turning in at the Lowe's logo, and I was like, "Well, what's he doing?" Because he's obviously quicker. So we tried it. I couldn't really figure out how to get the car to turn in on the right front like he does. So I eventually kind of migrated into a nice in between spot between those two markers. Um, but yeah, it didn't really work out for me in the long run, I think. But then again, I couldn't try it too much because I knew Ron was behind me and I couldn't arc as much. I knew if he did get to the inside of me on the outside of 1 and 2 at least, I could probably pull him coming out. But it's there toward the end. It was starting to get hard to get traction out of 4 in the top. So
Yeah, that seemed like it was the case throughout both races. That traction off of 4 seemed like the hit or miss. But you, of course, with that dirt experience, probably was piece of cake for you managing that right foot, right?
I would like to say so, but I think with about 6 to go, the spotter came on and said, "Take it easy on the right front." But it's the same way. When the right rear steps out, these cars just a littlest bit of throttle. If you lift just the littlest bit on the pedal, it'll straighten itself out. So you just got to really feel for the wheel and the pedals and just pay attention, and it'll work.
Yeah, that it will. And, Steven, now only 2 races left in the season. You're trying to hunt down Tanner in points, another good points night for you. So that points gap going to only grow closer. And some 2 good tracks here on the schedule, New Smyrna and then Kern County, which you have won in the late model stocks as well.
Yeah, I usually don't practice. I actually put in a little bit of practice in the sim yesterday for this track. I used the last season's setup, but I don't know what they changed, but it was way looser than this one, so I was thankful for that. New Smyrna, I've never turned a lap there. I'll probably run some laps there sometime this week, but looking forward to Kern for sure.
Yeah, gonna be a good one, and I'm excited to see how this points battle ends things off because 2 races left, and it might be a 3-horse race. So, Steven, before we let you go and celebrate a runner-up finish here tonight at North Wilkesboro, we're gonna go hand the mic over to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast here tonight.
Yeah, first thing, I don't know if I pinched him out of 4, but if I did, I'd like to apologize with Tanner. I know we were racing pretty hard there coming out of 4, and the right rear was stepping out more than I'd like it to, but I was just trying to hold him off. So apologize to him if I put him in a tight spot and he had to lift and lose some spots. But thanks to Brett for what you do, the broadcast. It's fun to go back and watch. My mom and dad get to watch it. It gives them something to do, my brother and maybe Jacob or whoever else is out there. Shout out to Andrew, Tanner, Tim, David, all the admins here at ASRC for giving us a fun place to race. It's fun every weekend or every week. And we got Jillian Sons plumbing on the car, Races for Christ, and just, yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, Steven. Always an awesome feeling seeing that 86 car load in, and I know you can put on a great show each and every week, and that you do. So, Steven, thanks for taking your time out of the week to spend it with us, and you, my man, have a great rest of the night. Go celebrate the runner-up finish.
You the same. Talk to you later, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was our runner-up finisher, the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman, closing up that points battle here. It's going to be a barn burner to end the season off. But now we'll head down to Victory Lane here tonight and talk to the man of the hour again, sweeping the nights. It is the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. Justin, you got a copy once again.
Yeah, what's going on?
Man, oh man, sweeping the nights here tonight. How we feeling now after 75 more laps here at North Wilkesboro?
Felt great. Felt definitely a lot better in that first feature. Was able to get in the front a lot easier, rolling the top, following Steven there. Everybody dove for the bottom, checked each other up, and was pinching the car off exit off 2 and just losing grip. So I was just hammered down, trying to get all the spots I could. Rode behind Steven for a little bit and got in front of him and tried to make a little run at Tim there and still try to keep the right rear up on her. I saw him slipping and hitting the curb down in 3, so I knew it'd probably be a matter of time if it's getting the tires hot that quick, and try to pace myself, get there. And I saw whenever I got there, he tried to cross me and was loose, so I knew that I was going to get a little bit of a buffer, just try to run it hard for a lap, get a buffer, and then try to run his pace, if not just a little bit slower, and make sure the right rear was good in case we got a long run. Was honestly hoping it was going to go green the rest of the way. No cautions there, but had that caution because I felt like my tires were really good at the end when I checked them, so I feel like it would have really showed over that long run as good as I was saving there. But had the cautions, had to get the restarts right, and there at the end, it was just hammer down for the most part, and then backed it down the last few laps just in case of a yellow. I mean, I didn't want to take a chance and burn my stuff up. Kind of Steven told me that he got a tire warning with I think it was 5 or 6 laps to go. So thankfully I never did, but I just didn't want to take a chance there and rather be safe than sorry. Didn't have a yellow and just cruising to the wind there at the end.
Yeah, that you did. You're able to set sail, especially once you took the lead before the halfway point. Just put that thing on cruise control. Like you said, did get those 2 cautions, able to nail the restarts, and from there, able to check on out here in front. So another great drive by the 33 machine. And Justin, I want to pick your brain just a little bit, see what's going on with your thought process. I mean, how do you go into a race like this, 75 laps, and how do you manage those tires, the temperatures, all that sort of stuff? Is it kind of a little bit of weight distribution of trying to keep things even, trying to get that car kind of driven straight off, or do you got some marks, got that rhythm in your head and say, hey, this is the pace we got to do, and just keep on hitting those marks?
I mean, I just try to feel the car out originally and can tell what the grip level is normally going to be. Mainly paying attention to the track temp and knowing how the car handles in practice at a certain temperature and then how it's going to change. I mean, obviously the track heated up, so I knew it was going to free up, and it was already a little bit free in practice. So, I mean, it was all about making sure I roll into the throttle, not overdrive entry, not overdrive exit as well. Keep the wheel straight. Also, not putting a lot of wheel into it in the center to make the car turn. Laying off the brakes. There's so many different things you can do, but like for me, like it's just being easy in the throttle, acting like there's an egg underneath the gas pedal, and making sure I'm not killing the right front in the process.
Hey, yeah, that's definitely the key. And these late model stocks definitely momentum based, even though on the short tracks, with the power and the grip level they have. Are you a heavy braker in these cars, or are you on the lighter side, if any brake?
I mean, it really, like I said, it really depends on the setup. If it's a really loose setup, I don't try to use typically too much brake. Because I feel like if you do with a hotter track temp, it's going to slide the rear end or slide the fronts, and as soon as you start sliding it and repeating the process a few times, you get your tire temp to a certain point where it's kind of hard to basically get it back down to optimal temps, and it just definitely shows. And at that point, you're just wearing your tires out. So I mean, it's a fine balance. It really, like I said, depends on the setup, depends on the track. Depends on the temperature. I mean, there's just so many things that come into play, and then having experience with this car and those different types of settings, just it comes into play. So I mean, like this track, for example, that's why it's one of my favorites. I mean, it's a worn out track, and when you get out here with a hot track temp and the setup is already a little bit loose, I mean, it plays in my hands, and like I said, I feel like it showed tonight. I mean, one of my favorite things is driving a car off driving a car off the right rear and right off the right front. I hate driving a tight car. I mean, I could drive it, but I think everybody in this league would prefer to drive it off the right rear, and these setups are a blast to drive as a result, and makes the races a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, I tell you what, it seemed like everyone was having fun. Definitely some slip sliding, especially off turn number 4. But Justin, we appreciate some of the speed secrets, some of the decisions and the thoughts going in with you. But yeah, it sounds like, doing that research, figuring out what kind of going into the race, but then the most important thing, like any good driver, how to adapt each and every lap to get right on that edge, but not going over. It's like I've heard it before as the rocking chair, right? You want to lean back as far in the chair as you can without going over. And that's kind of how we drive the race cars, quote unquote, on the edge each lap, right?
Exactly. You want to be right on the edge, but not going over the edge, and you got to find that balance. And once you find that balance, and you can do it repeatedly, I mean, it ends up working out in your favor. And like I said, the biggest thing for me is trying to be consistent, consistently hot lapping or consistently throughout a run. And it definitely helps at tracks like these. I mean, you got to be consistent here. Like I said, as soon as you start sliding the tires, I mean, you're in for a handful. You got to cool the tires back down, and or if you do it too much, you're just going to be out to lunch on the long run. So I mean, like I said, it's a fine balance. You got to find that fine balance, and when you find it, you're pretty much set.
Yeah, that you are. And here tonight, Justin putting on another clinic, able to sweep both lights. And we did get a chance to talk to Ron Hart, and he said, yeah, he raced you as probably as aggressively and as dirty as he could, no hard feelings and that sort of stuff. He was just trying anything and everything to keep that 33 machine behind. So we're all good in that front, my man.
So, like I said, I mean, I'm still getting to know some of these guys. I've talked to Ron a few times, but hey, you know, you never know how some people are. I mean, you never know what goes on behind their thought process. But I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about Ron from a lot of different people, and I know he's really hard. He's really hard to race against. I found that out at Richmond when I had my issues with the damage and the right rear being gone. I mean, I feel like I ran side by side with him for it felt like 25 laps at that point, but he's hard to pass for sure. I mean, he's fun to race against, and he makes you have to earn it. So I mean, I'm glad to know that. And like I said, I mean, I got to do what I can here because I feel like I don't know what the points are exactly. I've been trying to figure that out, but I know last time I had seen them updated, I know that I wasn't too far out considering I had missed 2 races, and I know that with the shotgun challenge starting in the back, you get extra bonus points if you actually win the race. So that also goes in behind it. So I'm just trying to guess where I was at. I feel like I wasn't too far off of Tanner and Steven there. I feel like I should be right up on them at this point. I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna have to give the same mentality for this next 2 weeks. And honestly, I guess I'm gonna try to go for the championship at this point. I mean, I might as well, right?
Yeah, you might as well, and it's going to be exciting. These last 2 races going to be a 3-horse race with just you said there, Justin. You, Stephen Hoffman, and Tanner Talarico. It's going to be awesome to see how things wrap on up these next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to New Smyrna. Hopefully, like I said, it's a little bit of a loose setup because that track's a little bit hard to pass on. If it's got a loose setup, it's going to be real fun. Hopefully, a hot track temp. Same thing for Kern as well. I mean, I love both those tracks. So as long as we are slipping the slide out a little bit, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely 2 fast kind of bull rings, high center speed track, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But here, Justin Brooks, here tonight, you, my man, I mean, sweeping both races, incredible stuff to see. So before we let you go, celebrate 2 wins here tonight, we, of course, once again, going to throw it over to you and have you thank who you got to thank once again with sponsors, anyone on the broadcast you want to shout out, or anything else, my man. The mic is yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you first and foremost for doing an incredible job each and every week. It's a pleasure talking to you. You're a great guy, and like I said, you did a phenomenal job. I go back and rewatch these races most weeks, and just go back and recheck it out and all that. And I've had buddies of mine tune into it, and they say really good things about you as well. Want to thank the league again. I do it each and every week, but these guys do a great job behind the scenes of giving us a fun and extremely good league to race in with a lot of hard but really fast drivers. It's a pleasure to race against these guys. Thank everybody watching on tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I'm just going to plug myself at justinbrooksdesigns.com. I want to thank Locklear Deer Processing, Crow Sim Shot, Shook Steakhouse, my girlfriend. I'm pretty sure she's tuning in. Hopefully, if she ain't fell asleep, I don't know. She ain't text me back in a minute, but last time I knew she was watching. That's pretty much it, man.
Alrighty, Justin. Well, always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks again taking the time out of your Tuesday nights, run with this league, and put on a great show that you do. And you, my man, go once again celebrate yet another win here in this series. And you have yourself a great rest of the night. And go get ready. 2 week shootout for the points. It's going to be exciting. Good luck with that, my man.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. I was going to say, too, my birthday's Thursday, so it's a nice little present to come to one of my favorite tracks and win in a throwback race, especially to one of my favorite paint schemes as a kid. Like I said, throwing it back to Jeff Gordon. Hopefully, people out there was watching tonight really like the paint scheme, put a lot of work into it, trying to recreate it and make it stand out. And I feel like I did a pretty good job with it. And like I said, it's fun having these throwback races. I appreciate leagues that actually do this, especially at a throwback track like North Wilkesboro. Hopefully, whenever the new North Wilkesboro comes out, we can still have the old one to race on at times for like a throwback race. I mean, this track's awesome. I'm sure the new track will be awesome. But yeah, like I said, we'll see you in the next one, buddy.
Yep, for sure, man. And yeah, awesome job on the paint scheme. I mean, definitely one of my favorite. Jeff Gordon was definitely a hero for me in having that car out here. Definitely very, very cool stuff. One of the coolest schemes he has. And you, my man, always knock a paint scheme out of the park.
Thank you, brother. Well, have a good night, man. We'll see you.
Yep, you as well, Justin. And from here, from myself and Turn 3 and ASRC, happy early birthday and go celebrate on Thursday, man. You definitely earned it.
Appreciate it, man. We'll see you.
Alrighty, folks. That was our race winner here in both features, the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. So now we'll head down here, wrap things on up, go through the race results, and get you on out here at a decent time. So Justin Brooks will pick up both feature wins here tonight, and he will close up on the points, finishing second. Also closing up the points, the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Rounding out the podium, finishing 3 is the 51 machine. That is Ron Hart. Dave Payton will finish P number 4 in the 38. And rounding out the top 5, that going to the 13 of Zach Corr. Tanner Tallarico in the 42 will finish 6th. 7th going to the 66 of Stephen Rochford. 8th is the 88 of Chuck Darling. 9th is Tim Rogers. And then 10th is TJ Hansen. 11th going to Ace Hart. 12th is Jamie Prevost. And then 13th, Zach Hummel. And Eric Lake did not make the call here for feature number 2. So that'll do it here for race number 10. Be sure to tune on in. Only 2 weeks left. New Smyrna next week. And then season finale at Kern. It's a 3-horse battle for the championship. Anyone could have it. So it's going to be exciting to watch. Thanks again to all the live viewers, all the replay viewers, and of course all the partners at ASRC, the admins, the drivers, and of course the sponsors. That title sponsor being Postma Flooring. Thanks again for jumping on board for another season. Really appreciate them. If you want to find out more, you can check them out with the link in the description. Also got to give a shout out to Boardwalk Subs and LaPlante Racing Products. Also, we got to give a shout out to our partners over at Premier Setup Shops here with Turn 3. You can check them out also with the link in the description. A click would go a long way and would be very much appreciated. So that will do it here tonight for race number 10 at North Wilkesboro. Everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you back in 1 week's time. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.